Welcome to Breaking Point News, where we bring you the stories that are shaking America to its core. It's January 28th, 2026, and Minneapolis is once again at the epicenter of national outrage. Just weeks after ICE fatally shot U.S. citizen Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old mother and ICU nurse, federal agents have now killed another American, Alex Pretti, a 32-year-old ICU nurse, gunned down Saturday in an encounter that has pushed tensions to a breaking point. President Donald Trump is sending border czar Tom Homan to Minnesota tonight, a move some DHS insiders see as sidelining hardline Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino. Protests are swelling. Lawsuits are piling up. A judge is weighing whether to halt the entire operation, and the administration's mass deportation crackdown faces its most serious test yet. Today, we break down the full picture. The second fatal shooting of a U.S. citizen, the conflicting claims, the human toll, the political firestorm, the legal battles, and why this crisis could force a reckoning for Trump's immigration agenda. If you're following this escalating tragedy, stay with us. This is raw, real, and unfolding fast. The latest tragedy struck Saturday in Minneapolis. Alex Pretti, a dedicated ICU nurse who treated veterans, was shot and killed by a federal immigration agent during what DHS initially called a routine encounter. Federal officials claim Pretti posed an immediate threat, was armed, and attempted to assault officers, labeling the incident a violent altercation, and even fitting the profile of domestic terrorism. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem stated Pretti's actions matched the legal definition of domestic terrorism, violence against government officials to resist enforcement for ideological reasons. White House aide Stephen Miller called Pretti a domestic terrorist who tried to assassinate federal law enforcement. Yet critical details remain withheld. No body cam footage released, no weapon specifics confirmed, and multiple bystander videos reviewed by CNN show nuance. Pretti appears to be moving away from agents before shots are fired. The administration has declined to provide evidence substantiating self-defense claims, prompting bipartisan calls for a full, independent investigation. The backlash has been immediate and widespread. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz demanded Trump end this operation now and remove thousands of violent, untrained officers from the state, calling the shooting sickening. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey accused federal forces of turning neighborhoods into war zones. Protests have intensified every day since Good's death. Friday saw marches downtown, airport demonstrations, arena rallies, and an economic blackout, where businesses shuttered in solidarity. Saturday's crowds braved sub-zero cold again, demanding ICE leave Minnesota. Civil rights leaders like former NAACP head Nekima Levy Armstrong were arrested after disrupting a St. Paul church service linked to an alleged ICE official, charged with conspiracy but later released. The human cost is heartbreaking. Children and families are caught in sweeps. A 5-year-old boy, Liam Conejo Ramos, was detained with his father in their driveway after preschool drop-off. Agents allegedly used the child as bait. Columbia Heights schools say Liam is the fourth student taken in 2 weeks. Border Patrol's Gregory Bovino defended the actions. Agents are experts with children, and operations will continue wholesale against criminal aliens. Critics highlight cases sweeping up legal residents, citizens, and preschoolers with no criminal records. A 19-year-old Ecuadorian was chased down a snowy street, face pressed to ground after allegedly fleeing agents. DHS says he crashed his car, and both he and his passenger remain detained. Federal-state clashes are escalating. DHS claims over 1,000 state detainees are under ICE detainers. Minnesota corrections say only a few hundred. DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin suggested calm could return if Governor Walz and Mayor Frey hand over wanted individuals, but the state calls the surge an unlawful invasion. To force cooperation courts have barred. In federal court today, Minnesota argued Operation Metro Surge isn't about safety. It's coercion to leapfrog legal limits. Assistant AG Brian Carter called it malice, accusing AG Pam Bondi of holding public safety hostage with shifting demands. The judge questioned her authority to halt the operation, but heard impassioned pleas to stop the unchecked invasion. Adding fuel, the FBI agent assigned to investigate Good's death resigned. Sources say she opened a civil rights probe into the officer, but was ordered to reclassify it as an assault on the agent. Her exit is part of a broader purge of veteran FBI agents, raising alarms about impartial oversight. Good's family attorney demands real due process and a real investigation, citing autopsy trajectory evidence suggesting she may have been driving away when shot. The crackdown has spread. Maine is now targeted with Operation Catch of the Day, netting over 100 arrests this week, including a corrections officer recruit with a clean record who crossed the border in 2019. The administration's tactics, masked agents, battering rams, broad sweeps, have drawn bipartisan criticism, even from some Republicans calling for transparency. Trump's response: send Border Czar Tom Homan to Minnesota tonight. Homan, former acting IC director, is a hardliner who defended family separations and opposes sanctuary policies. Some DHS insiders see this as sidelining Bovino's heavy-handed style. The White House insists Noam retains full trust, but Homan's dispatch signals a shift toward targeted enforcement on threats rather than mass sweeps. Homan has a controversial past, accepting $50,000 in a 2024 FBI sting, later closed as political, but he's positioned as the fix for Minnesota's lack of cooperation. Capitol Hill is tense. With a January 30th funding deadline looming, Democrats threaten to block DHS funding unless reforms curb ICE. Republicans explore options to avoid shutdown, but the shootings have shifted dynamics. No one expected this level of crisis. A group of federal health workers wrote Congress. ICE threatens community health more than a funding lapse, with families skipping care out of deportation fear. This is a Trump immigration agenda at its most intense. Mass deportations targeting criminal aliens, but sweeping broadly, sparking resistance lawsuits, and now 2 fatal shootings of U.S. citizens. Minnesota has become ground zero for a national reckoning. Security versus humanity, enforcement versus overreach, federal power versus state rights. As Homan arrives, court battles continue, protests grow, and investigations lag. America faces hard questions. Will this crackdown deliver safety or deepen division? Will the second shooting force change or harden resolve? The coming days will tell. What do you think? Is this justified enforcement or dangerous overreach? Share below. Like if this breakdown helped. Subscribe for updates on this fast-moving story, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay compassionate.